Imagine a founder trying to scale a multi-million-dollar manufacturing business, but their morning is spent adjudicating exactly where a single drop of glue should sit on a USB cover. Yet this same company has an official written leadership constitution that explicitly outlaws this exact dynamic. They call it a dependency culture, and it is strictly rejected on paper. The founder knows that he is trapped. He openly admits that his own micromanagement has replicated himself across every department. This widespread paralysis is not happening because the team lacks talent or because they lack ambition. It happens because a dependency culture is a structural byproduct of the founder's own psychological worldview. We are going to deconstruct the physics of this bottleneck, from the psychology keeping people frozen, all the way down to the data architecture keeping the company blind. In a scaling business, a team that waits to be told what to do is rarely a bug. It is an architectural feature built by the founder. Look at the baseline. This is a 10 crore precision monitoring instrument manufacturer running on rigorous ISO 9001 and 17025 standards. These engineers build payloads robust enough to sit alongside the Chandrayaan-1 lunar mission. The technical pedigree is elite. Behind that capability is a multi-generational legacy. For decades, veteran technicians manually assembled electronics, physically intervening to save critical accounts during crises. Now, the strategic target is 100 crore in 5 years, a 10x scale-up. Attempting a 10x expansion on a foundation of manual, crisis-driven heroism creates a structural trap. The operational weight of that ambition will crush the existing team. The root of this trap lies in how the founder integrates new employees. This diagram maps his strict moral code. An employee must first prove they can contribute value before they are granted any intrinsic trust. Only after proving their value do they earn the license to fail on the job. But precision engineering requires independent decision-making. You cannot contribute meaningful value without making choices. Independent choices carry the risk of failure, which requires the exact license the founder is withholding. The loop breaks. Employees adapt instantly. They realize the safest path is to wait for explicit directions rather than risk an unapproved mistake. This creates the mirror effect. Because the founder struggles to enforce strict accountability standards, he avoids the conflict by hoarding the decisions himself. What looks like a dependency culture from the outside is actually a perfectly rational employee adaptation to a contradictory set of rules. You can see the exact cost of this psychology over in the design department. The team has actually implemented rigorous project management disciplines, running daily stand-ups and logging tickets in Redmine. Yet halfway through a major 3-month build, the project managers have no idea where their own 9-person team actually stands. The software is working perfectly. The users are breaking it. They are actively refusing to input target end dates into the system. An end date establishes a hard, measurable target. In an environment where unproven failure is punished, a missed end date is a liability. The team games the system, leaving dates blank to avoid being measured at all. A cultural fear of failure will always override a sound technical system. The result is a department generating massive amounts of motion with zero measurable progress. If we zoom out from the design department, we can see that this localized paralysis actually scales up into a massive, company-wide architectural bottleneck. The operation is divided into 6 silos: HR, sales, marketing, production, purchase, and stores. They run in parallel with no scheduled cross-communication. The legacy ERP software simply mirrors this isolation. The manufacturing module cannot speak to the finance module. When the founder needs to calculate a margin, he acts as the integration layer himself. He relies on instinct to trigger the question, then walks to the sales head to get the lowest negotiated sell price. Then, he walks to the production head to extract the current bill of materials cost. Finally, he returns to his desk, opens 2 separate personal Excel spreadsheets of historical data, and manually calculates the margin in his head. The business cannot scale to 100 crore because its entire data integration architecture is limited by the physical caloric output of a single human being. So how do you decouple the founder from the data flow without spending 18 months ripping out the legacy ERP? You look at the evolutionary framework of enterprise data. Era 1 relied on siloed software modules. Era 2 overlaid heavy analytics teams. Both are too rigid and expensive for a scaling SME. Era 3 dumped everything into a centralized data lake, requiring massive engineering overhead. We are in Era 4. You leave the legacy systems exactly where they are. You build a lightweight dashboarding layer that connects directly to the old databases and spreadsheets using simple APIs. The objective is the single coffee cup dashboard. The founder should be able to sit anywhere in the world, open one screen over a morning coffee, and instantly see live cross-functional metrics without talking to a single department head. Operational visibility is downstream of data integration. You build systems that speak to each other so humans don't have to. But a dashboard won't automatically fix a crisis-driven culture. Behavior has to be enforced. This requires a 24-month engagement structure built on strict binary pass-or-fail milestones evaluated every 6 months. Transitioning away from a mindset where every decision requires the founder's physical presence demands an external enforcer to hold the line on accountability. To scale by a factor of 10, the founder has to actively grieve and abandon the heroic execution-level version of themselves. The absolute endpoint of this transformation is the boardroom. The founders step entirely into chairman and managing director roles, overseeing operations run by professionals. Scaling doesn't require a founder to become a completely different person. It requires building the operational infrastructure that finally affords them